So beginning in August, late August, Paula Francis and I, Linda Wheatley, are going to leave Vermont and walk to Washington, D.C. It's about 560 miles. We're walking to Washington to meet people and to talk to people about what really matters to them, maybe get a sense of what happiness means to people that we meet along the way. We'll be stopping along the way, hosting events in various communities. We'll be stopping in cafes and coffee shops. We're going to be asking them what happiness means to them, how they may pursue happiness. We're going to ask them what really matters to them in their lives. And we do have a hypothesis. We do believe people are not just going to talk about money, and we believe they're not just going to talk about stuff and the market and growing economics. And we will hear about having a good job. We will hear about having satisfying work. But we'll also hear about time, people wanting time with their families, people wanting opportunities to learn more, people wanting time to contribute to their community and be involved in a vital community. A few years ago, I traveled to Bhutan, a place I'd always wanted to go, and attended a conference on a concept called gross national happiness. Bhutan's a beautiful country, small country of 600,000 people, and the king had the idea that their policy should be designed to support the happiness of its people. Seems like a pretty simple idea. Resonated with me, coming from a country where I feel like that may have been lost somewhere along the last couple hundred years of our country's development. Happiness is a very important topic to all of us. Everybody wants happiness. We all want happiness. It's actually probably the one thing we all have in common. So I came back from Bhutan, and within a few months had gathered some friends around the idea and myself, and we co-founded Gross National Happiness USA with the mission of measuring what matters. And just this past year, we decided to actually go find out what really matters. And that's where the idea of this walk came from. We're going to walk, we're going to talk to people over 560 miles.
I think we've had a lot of waves. It's like nobody can, you have to wave at a sign that says the pursuit of happiness on it. You can't have a negative reaction. I'm hoping it just raises a little bit of awareness in one spot, triggers some curiosity. People will start trying to learn more.
So there's an article of faith in America that says that the free market will serve the common good. We're finding that that's not true. So it's become pretty apparent that the free market is not actually going to make everyone happier. It's actually making a number of people more miserable, more poor, more isolated. When we first started talking about this idea of gross national happiness, it usually makes people smile, and many times people say, oh, that's kind of silly, a little ridiculous in America. But interestingly, the head of the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, recently presented the same idea, using the word happiness and well-being at a presentation. So our leading economist is acknowledging the need to shift our attention to things that really matter to people, happiness and well-being. What we hope to come out of this walk is a greater understanding for ourselves of what happiness means, what matters to people on our route that we meet, but also to draw some, hopefully, media attention to this movement, that there is something that needs desperately to shift here. It is time to question what we're paying attention to. Believing that increasing gross domestic product, the Dow Jones continuing to go up, is not necessarily telling us that we're all getting happier, that well-being is spreading, that we are thriving as a society. There's a lot more to life than free market enterprise and working 10 to 12-hour days and trying to get by economically. And it really is time for us to start having conversations about how change needs to happen and has to happen now, and everybody should be part of it. Everybody. That is why we're walking to Washington. We're walking for 7 weeks to Washington, D.C. from Vermont to draw attention to this issue. It's an important issue. It's timely. It's actually urgent. It's not just important. It's critical right now. There's so much more to life, and people know that. And the walk is really about drawing attention to improving our economic system and our governing structures so that they support this pursuit of happiness that we've been promised in our declaration.